Chelsea Football Club are closing in on securing a deal for De Ligt from Juventus. A new cash bid has been launched. Many feel these terms will be agreed by Juventus. Personal terms are said to be absolutely no problem as this transfer advances. Now, there are many media outlets that have spoken about this bid. Alfredo here says United are ready to make their first official offer. We know that means there's been verbal offers made behind the scenes, 70 million euros plus a bonus. Simon Phillips here has said that Chelsea are progressing via RJP Journalism, have been told that 60 plus 9 of add-ons is being considered. Likely any player in return will be a separate deal. And of course, the brilliant Nazir Kinsella told us that Chelsea are advancing talks for Raheem Sterling, Nathan Ake, and De Ligt. This is a real deal that Chelsea see themselves possibly getting over the line. Will they go back in for Jules Koundé? That remains to be seen. Raheem Sterling is said to be done as well. Agreement with Manchester City on the price. Personal terms being ironed out from a legality point of view, not getting Raheem Sterling to join. He wants Chelsea. Happy with the squad status. Happy with the money. Two big deals upon the horizon for Chelsea fans, who are, of course, feeling a little sore after what most people believe is going to be missing out on Rafinha. We have an update on that for you as well. But make sure the like button has been smashed. Make sure you're subscribing to the Football Terrace now. Let's do this. Today's show is sponsored by Private Internet Access. And this is something I use on my personal computers, work computers, and on my devices. Whenever you're using an open network for internet, whether at a cafe, whether you're at the airport, shopping center, wherever that may be, you need to encrypt yourself and ensure that your personal data is being protected at all times. Private internet access is available all around the world. And as I've mentioned, you can use it on your smartphone, your smart TV, laptops, iMacs, whatever it is that you use. This also gives you the availability to access content worldwide. So when you're traveling, it doesn't matter if you want to use your Netflix, the iPlayer, YouTube, wherever you are in the world, the VPN via Private Internet Access gives you the ability to do so. Now, what the Football Terrace can do for you is give you an 82% discount on this product, plus 3 months free. All you need to do is click on the link in the description or scan the QR code on your screen during this video to sign up now. Chelsea Football Club have had an interesting start to the window in many ways. And I say interesting because it was very, very slow. We knew that it was slow. We always knew that it was going to be because of everything that had happened with Roman. They couldn't do any work in the kind of build up to, they couldn't do any kind of work in the build up to into the summer. They very much started flat footed. And I think for a lot of people, there's sort of a sense of frustration. You know, a lot of Chelsea fans frustrated. But they have moved things on with absolute speed since Marina, Bruce Buck and co, Petr Cech, of course, stepped down. And I said this a week ago and I stand by it. Be afraid of Chelsea. Now, they went in this week and they put a bid in for Rafinha, accepted by Leeds. Personal terms, listen, I don't really care for the semantics around this. Some journalists really do, and they want to be not even so much right. Well, they do want to be right, but they also want to be right, and they want to be accurate. They don't want to be irresponsible. They don't want to get people's hopes up. But when you hear personal terms are going to be no problem, or you hear that the offer is acceptable to a player, it's broadly been agreed. Terms are agreed. It's whether or not the player makes a final decision to join your club. And do you want to know why that matters? These journalists also tell us, these professionals also tell us that players can agree terms with multiple clubs. If a player can agree personal terms with multiple clubs, then he can agree terms with, Rafinha can agree terms with Chelsea and not sign for them. Agreeing terms doesn't mean you're going to sign. It means the terms you've been offered are acceptable to you. When you sign is when the deal completes. Done deals are between the clubs when they get the fee agreed. Personal terms are a player saying, I'm happy to accept that. A deal complete is when everything is signed, sealed, delivered. And that's where Chelsea found themselves with Rafinha. But why I say that people should be fearful of Chelsea is very much the speed and execution after the fact. They have moved on from Rafinha very, very quickly. They're already working on De Ligt. They're already working on Raheem Sterling at the same time. Sterling is done. Fees is agreed with Manchester City. Legalities, structures being finalized with the lawyers and the accountants. You know, that the recruitment teams have moved away from that now. Terms absolutely fine with Raheem Sterling. When all the legalities are done, he'll sign that and the deal will complete. And it would take a miracle now for that deal not to happen. The De Ligt one is very, very interesting because as you can see here, words from our very own Dean Jones, who said that De Ligt is a dream signing. This is the guy that Thomas Tuchel would take over anybody else. So it's a fantastic situation to be in whereby he might be available. The fact that Juventus seem reasonably open to it is promising. And Dean was talking about this started talking about this a couple of weeks ago. And it has really motored forward quickly. Initially, there was going to be a swap deal plus cash, around 35 million plus a player. Pulisic, Timo Werner were being discussed. That's kind of gone away now. Juve are looking at a Chelsea player, but they are going to do the deals independently of one another. That's typically how swap deals work. Swap deals all being in the same contract are as rare as rocking horse poo. They will be done separately. It's going to be around £60 million plus add-ons for De Ligt. Now, that is fantastic. Fantastic business by Chelsea Football Club. By the way, personal terms are going to be no problem. De Ligt wants to come and play for Thomas Tuchel. He's impressed with how good he makes defenders look. He's impressed with how he develops defenders. And you have to look at Tuchel and look at Antonio Rudiger. Rudiger is a prime example. Rudiger wasn't really looked at as a stellar, star, brilliant player before Tuchel arrived. He was very good, but he was looked at as, makes a few mistakes, can be a little bit erratic, can be caught out of position. Tuchel turned him in 18 months into one of the best centre-backs in the world. Now, it's a shame he had to move on from Chelsea from a Blues fan's point of view. But De Ligt, at 22 years of age, one being Thomas Tuchel's dream defensive signing, being available at a price that I don't think many people 3 or 4 years ago expected him to be available at. He hasn't really progressed at the rate in which people expected him to. I think that's because he moved too early. Juventus themselves have gone through a fair amount of turmoil. There's been a lot of chopping and a lot of changing. And maybe his game just isn't quite suited to Serie A. But Thomas Tuchel has a want and a desire to bring this individual in, and he really feels it will elevate Chelsea in a very positive way indeed. And I think that Chelsea fans have got to get behind this. Personal terms will be no issue. What that means in reality is he knows what he wants to do in Chelsea. He knows what Chelsea are going to offer. 99 times out of 100, official bids only go in when personal terms are already pretty much there or thereabouts. It doesn't mean in every case that a player can't agree terms with multiple clubs. It doesn't mean a player can't change his mind. This summer alone, the deals for Rafinha, the deal for Tyrell Malacia prove this. Malacia agreed terms with Lyon. A bid was accepted between Lyon and Feyenoord, and Man United jumped in. Arsenal Football Club have got the terms with Lisandro Martinez into a position where he's happy to join Arsenal. The bid is almost at a point where Ajax are ready to accept it. Now Man United are coming in. He's happy to join both. Lisandro Martinez will then make a decision. He'll agree personal terms with both. He'll then make a decision on who to complete with. That is how these things work. That is how these things operate. It's as simple and as straightforward as that. And Chelsea are moving into a very comfortable position with this De Ligt deal. Man City have made inquiries. I believe PSG or Bayern Munich, I have to go and check that again, also made inquiries in recent days about his availability. But the player has said, I want Chelsea. They are both pulled away. There's something about Chelsea, something about the Tuchel system that De Ligt is very much attracted to. Of course, we already mentioned what Nazir Kinsella said. We'll go on to that in a minute. But of course, we are sponsored today by Private Internet Access. And as I said in the video, very, very important. Maintains your internet speed, protects you from hackers, stops your phone from being cloned, anything that could go wrong, internet-based on your phone, on your laptop, on your iMac, on your computer at home. Private Internet Access protects it. It really does. You get 3 months free. Scan the QR code on the screen or use the link in the description below and go and check that out because it's a fantastic company. Great peace of mind when using the internet as well. And there's loads of little perks to it as well. I use it when I travel. You're able to use, your TV apps and your Disney apps and your Netflix, wherever you are around the world, even if it's not available in that particular region. So there's some real fun stuff. Get your content wherever you are. It's brilliant indeed. Some of you as well say things to me like, oh, I'd love to super chat the Terrace or put a thank you in, but it's not available in my country. Using private internet access will help you change that. So it's all good. Go check it out and scan the QR code. But as Nazir Kinsella has pointed out, Chelsea are advancing in talks with Sterling, Ake, and De Ligt. Now, I know Ake is the player that's kind of irking a lot of people, frustrating a lot of people. But I say this to Chelsea fans, have faith in Thomas Tuchel, one of the best managers in the world. He's been at the club 18 months and not been backed yet. He hasn't been given players that he out and out wants. He just hasn't. This isn't even Thomas Tuchel's team. And you're talking about a Champions League winner, FA Cup finalist twice, League Cup finalists, top 4 finish, without a single player that he wanted, without being able to advance his team, going through sanctions, reduction in fans, the club being not in turmoil, but going through a very adverse and difficult period, keeping Chelsea 3rd in the league at that time. Give this guy money, give this guy backing, allow him to create, cook, develop his own team. And as I've said in recent streams, Chelsea will be dangerous. I don't think you can get away from that in any way, shape, or form. But De Ligt, advance, personal terms will be no problem. Raheem Sterling, done and dusted. Until next time, my people, take care. Goodbye. God bless.